Come on, clap your hands and give the Lord some praise. I want to tell you a little story. There was an old mother who lived in New Orleans who was displaced by Hurricane Katrina. She lost everything that she had: her home, car, family. And when they evacuated her, they sent her to a shelter between New Orleans and Baton Rouge. And while she sat there on a cot that they had provided for her, she had been without food and water and the necessities, and she began to cry. She started to shed tears. But while she was crying, she thought on the goodness of the Lord. And she started singing this little song. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Come on, let me say that. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. I need some help. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Come on, lift your voice and say Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Come on. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Well, a young man walked up to her and said, "Mother, why are you calling on Jesus? Should you be calling on FEMA? Should you be calling on the Red Cross, Salvation Army? Or better yet, shouldn't you be calling on President Bush and Cheney and those?" And she said, "Son, you don't understand. There's a reason why I'm calling on that name. Because that's the name that's above every name." And she said, "There's a reason why I'm calling on that name, Jesus." And you know what she told that young boy? She said, "Come here, let me tell you why I call on that name. Savior, Savior, Savior." Come on, let me say that. Savior, Savior, Savior. Anybody knowing that's the Savior? Savior, Savior, Savior. What's his name? Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Come on, let me say Savior. Savior, Savior, Savior. Everybody lift your voice. Savior. Savior, Savior, Savior. Love is the Savior. Savior, Savior, Savior. What's his name? Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Well, about that time, the paramedics was rushing by with a stretcher. They had an old man on the stretcher that had a seizure because he couldn't get his medication and his prescription. And she stopped him and said, "Where are you taking this man?" They said, "We're trying to get him over to the triage unit and get him some medical attention." She said, "Let me look at him." And while she was looking at the old man, a young girl came up with a baby in her arm, and the baby had a fever. She said, "Let me look at the baby too." And the young girl said, "Why are you going to look at these folk? Why are you going to look at these folk?" You know what she told him? Heal, heal, heal. What's his name? Jesus, Jesus. Anybody know him as a healer? Come on. Healer, healer, healer. Why don't you wave your hand and say healer? Healer, healer, healer. Healer, healer, healer. What's the Lord's name? Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Well, about that time there was a big commotion over by the exit door. folks was rushing over to the exit door to see what was going on. They was making a lot of noise, and somebody sent a note and it said there were 3 tractor trailers out there with food, water, medicine, and Mother started to really cry now. She really lost it now. And then somebody else sent another note said there were 2 more tractor trailers that just showed up with tractors and hammers and all that stuff that they needed. And Mother just lost it. She just started boo-hooing all over the place. And the young boy walked up to Mother and said, "Mother, why are you crying now? You ought to be rejoicing. You ought to be shouting and rejoicing. Why are you crying now?" She said, "Son, once again, you don't understand." You know what she told him? She lifted up her hand and she said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you. What's his name? Jesus, Jesus. Why don't you help me tell the thank you? Come on, y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As you get to the next one, you want to tell the thank you. What's his name? Jesus, Jesus. Come on, lift your hands all over to the thank you. Shelter in the time of storm. He let everything go wrong. There's power in the name. Healing in the name. Call his name, y'all. Somebody on the call and by his name. Jesus. Say it one more time, Jesus, Jesus. He's away.